The ego is the system that runs your sense of self. It is made out of thought patterns, emotions, and behavior loops, and the stories that try to hold it all together. Left unchecked, it creates endless existential searching, chronic disconnection, and the persistent sense that something is wrong. The goal of my videos is clarity, to see your identity and its contradictions for what they are, named precisely, to finally understand what it is that we're all running away from. Infinity is not an abstract concept. It is not something that you can only find as a symbol within math. Infinity is the expression of all of reality itself. And it is not something that you kind of find out there outside of your conscious awareness, but it is an expression of your immediate present moment experience. And the more you dissolve your sense of ego into present moment experience, the more you'll feel like you are dissolving into infinity. There comes a point where you notice how real what I'm saying right now actually is. That I'm not just talking about some philosophical idea or spiritual concept, but there is a dissolution process towards infinity that feels absolutely terrifying, absolutely overwhelming, and absolutely amazing. Incredible is really the word that puts it best, because when it is happening, you cannot believe it is actually true. You cannot believe that what infinity is actually contained or expressed as the finite experience of being a human body. This can happen through intense meditation, deep inquiry and self-reflection, and of course, psychedelics. Psychedelics make you go towards infinity way quicker than any sort of spiritual practice does. And it makes it also way more terrifying if you resist this process. There goes everything from LSD to mushrooms, or to some extent also ketamine, salvia, or of course the classics DMT and 5-MeO DMT. They all dissolve the ego and shoot you towards infinity, and they do it in with such overwhelming force that there's nothing to do but to surrender and dissolve into the infinity of the experience. There's an overwhelmingness to this moving towards infinity. And again, it doesn't mean it's just exclusive to substances or very intense meditation states, but it is allowing yourself to experience whatever is going on within you right now. Everyone feels overwhelmed already from the possibilities of their own life, from the thoughts running in their head endlessly, and from this need to kind of be somewhere else than where you are right now. The sense of overwhelm is the consequence of an ego that doesn't have the right tools to process everything that is going on within your awareness. Then there's also a very biological reality here, where most people are just living very unhealthily. They are completely lost in the infinity of the algorithms that feed us media that also seems to have no end. Like, look at how many perspectives YouTube is showing you all the time, endlessly. Always some new perspective of you in YouTube, showing you a new frame of reference, something else that exists, another perspective. And there's no end because you as a human are too finite to capture it all. But in a very real way, we as humans, or if you want to make it esoteric, consciousness or reality has wired us together so we can see all of these different perspectives play out, and then have our own meta perspective of every view that we see. But if you want to actually be in contact to your own infinity within you, you must remove yourself from all of this overwhelming online stimulation and move yourself in the present overwhelming experience of your own mind. All the thoughts that your mind gives you, all the philosophical ideas, all the spiritual intuitions, all the fears and emotions, ideas of the past, ideas of the future. There's so much going on in any point in time that it feels overwhelming. Now, what is beautiful about the nature of infinity is that all the overwhelm is actually a distraction. It is a product of discoherence within your own mind, because your attention, your sense of awareness, is really where it's all happening. And the ability to control your attention to the 0 point of your own experience is where infinity lies. It doesn't lie in all of these, stimulating sensations that are, grabbing your attention. But the point of infinity lies where there is nothing at all. And this nothing that I'm talking to you about, this nothing that, and this nothing that I'm referencing here is there with you all the time. Or so to say, you are it. You are distracted by the mind telling you what you are, what other people are telling you what you are, what YouTube is telling you is happening on the other side of the planet, the worries that you have about your finances, or the worries you have about your relationship. And they all distract you and make the vast cosmos into something particular and finite. In this way, you are not connected to the 0 point within your own experience, but to everything else going on. Meditation is the practice of being able to control and focus with agency towards, some particular point in your experience. And then you start to see that there's something way deeper going on than all of these, different sensations. But there's the ability to be able to observe and witness something steadily with concentration. And that you find yourself much closer as this point of concentration, focusing in on something. And we are all always swayed with our concentration. Everybody is just, always distracted with something, and therefore lose sight of, everything that, appears. Because the infinity is found in the finite of the present moment experience. This is where all infinity appears as something finite. So when you have the ability to concentrate on a particular aspect of your experience, the classical meditation instructions are to just focus on, the sensation of breathing around your nostrils or on your upper lip, and then focus on how difficult it is to put your attention there, and then to always bring it back, to the sensation. And then it's like you're getting absorbed into the experience of breathing. And then the sensation becomes expansive and actually quite pleasurable. And then you can find the infinity within the finite, how there's not really a difference between the finite and the infinite, and that the real overwhelm was always the consequence of not being able to process everything that is going on, to not be able to contextualize everything that is happening into a coherent model of reality. Coherence is experienced as pleasurable. Valence, or like positive valence, is when consciousness structures itself in a way that feels connecting and coherent. And when you learn how to pay attention to something, your peripheral awareness coheres with the center point of your concentration. And then everything around you starts to cohere with whatever you're concentrating. And outside of the concept of meditation, I'm just talking about how you go throughout your day. If you wake up and are pointed into a clear direction of what you want to do in your day, or what like your overall pattern is like and where you're headed, then all the noise of social media and what's happening on the other side of the planet and your worries about your health or whatever it might be starts to become part of the peripheral vision of your immediate awareness. And then the concentration that you're putting your mind towards coheres with everything that moves around it. This way, you have the ability to, live a life that is content and happy and grounded in your normal human everyday reality, while also being aware of everything that goes on around you. You don't get lost anymore in like random blips of distraction, but you are pointed towards yourself. You are pointed towards the 0 point of infinity that you're always inhabiting. Training the mind to pay attention to what actually matters to you and to not get distracted by noise is what destroys the overwhelm. It's what makes experience pleasant. It's the constant need to distract yourself from how expansive you really are. That makes it so that, you cannot, just be at peace being yourself. The more you move towards the sense of infinity, of immense expansiveness, the more you'll notice that the reason that everybody avoids this is because the mind cannot survive infinity. The mind has to dissolve into the complexities of all what reality is, of what truth is. And while expanding and, noticing that you are not really localized anywhere particularly, then everything starts to kind of happen on its own. And there's not this feeling anymore that you are the one responsible for it all, that you need to put in effort to make something happen, but that the infinite expression of the universe is doing everything completely fine on its own. You do not need to do anything but let things happen on their own without getting distracted. When you know that you want something and you are able to put your attention on that thing, then whatever consequence comes from there is, really rippling out towards all other facets of the future. So the infinity that you are perceiving in your present moment experience is already part of everything else that came before it and everything else that came after it. So if you think about the beginning of the universe, like let's just, for the sake of this video, say it's the Big Bang. And then let's think about the end of the universe, which let's, for the sake of this context, say it's just the heat death of the universe. Then now you have some sort of kind of finite view of the universe, right? You have a beginning and an end. And we kind of know that, we kind of know that we don't know what happens before the Big Bang. So it's just the beginning of time, the way we understand it. And the heat death model is also kind of just a way we try to imagine this thing. But for you as an individual human being, like as one person in this immense field of the cosmos, or this immense space of the cosmos, imagine you would have to experience every little facet of life in this universe. Like imagine you would have to be every single human, every single insect, every single animal, hey, maybe even every single plant, maybe every single DMT entity. How overwhelming would that be? How ginormous would that be? Well, on the experiential basis, it is pretty much infinite. The universe is so vast and so, gigantic, and has so much expression for conscious experience. Of course, the mind cannot fathom how huge it is. Of course, the mind completely loses itself once it sees that itself and this infinitude is one. Because how is it possible that you find yourself as this individual finite expression here now? The awareness that you're having in this moment as this conscious being experiencing the present moment has to be the precise consequence of all of infinity. Every little atom that brought the beginning of the Big Bang to the heat death of the universe, to all the space in between, made it so that you are here now, expressed as this finite self. So you must be one with all of infinity, as it is all intimately interconnected all the time. The feeling of dissolving into that, of course, feels immensely intense because it is almost unfathomable how big it is what I'm talking about. Or better said, it is not really possible to talk about it. Whenever I say the universe or the cosmos or infinity, it is a very measly attempt to abstract something so gigantic and complex. Now, what is so incredible about the human is that we have the intelligence, we have the intuition, and we have the spirit capable of grasping this infinitude. And by processing our own emotions, our own, just standard human life things, like our personal matters, the past that we are stuck up on, the sense of purpose we want to express, the sense of, moral relationship that we have with reality, all of this helps us to become closer to the infinite because it dissolves resistances, it dissolves fear, and it moves us towards further expression that isn't just bound by this, one singular finite